Hey guys, welcome to the Captain Fizz Mask Guy Show. Tonight we'll be talking about the season premiere of Gotham, as well as some of our personal experiences over this past weekend at some very comic book related events. So you know what? Sit back, listen to our music, and we'll be right back at you in a moment.
Welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show. Of course, I am Captain Fizz.
Greetings once again from the 7th Moon of Thunder. I am that Mask Guy, and you really should not have ate that burger just before we came on the air.
Hey, you know what? You cannot turn down a beautiful, well-made bacon McDouble, whatever you want to call it.
So you don't even know what the burger's called.
You know, and I hate the fact that you just did this to me, because now you've pretty much led me into a wonderful segment of what happens at McDonald's. And, you know, there's only one city this could actually legitimately happen in, that you would actually stand there and not be horrified, not be upset or anything, just stand there laughing. I'm in there, I order my food, I'm getting a drink, and this guy walks in. He's a, generally really big guy. He's wearing a shirt that probably looks like 3 sizes too small. But anyways, he walks in with a cup, starts filling up, a drink. Now, I think nothing of it, because honestly, I don't really give a damn. It's a drink. It's McDonald's. It's whatever. So this little tiny blonde twig thing walks up, and I have to point out the fact that she works for McDonald's.
Of course, yes.
Because it wouldn't be funny if it was someone who wasn't working at McDonald's. But she walks up and proceeds to tell him that he cannot fill up his drink because he didn't bring it in from inside, and and normally, like, whatever, it's one of those experiences you kind of just walk away from. But it's his response. He's like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's okay. It's fine." He's like, "But you're stealing." "Yeah, I know. It's fine." And it's just one of those experiences where you look at it and go, like, you can't help but laugh of this guy who is just pretty much accused of stealing. Whether he is or not, I don't really, care. It's McDonald's. It's an overpriced ripoff anyways.
Right.
But anyways, like, for him to brush it off so much as to say, "Yeah, I know," it's humorous. I can't stop laughing. And to hear her, in the back room of, McDonald's, and I'm still standing out there watching this guy walk away, and she's fuming in the back room, and you can hear her. It's a lot more comical than this robotic machine that allows you to pick your own food. I go to I go to McDonald's for the food, but I stay for the comedy.
And there you go.
And yeah, that's my once again another experience at McDonald's. You don't get better than that.
No, you absolutely don't. And I'm definitely glad you brought that tidbit, because honestly, your damn stories are just too good not to share on the show.
I really wish I was able to videotape this, because it was humorous.
We need to get back into some sort of, videos.
Well, if I could videotape random people doing the stupidest things in a normal Winnipeg life, I'd be rich. Because I could pretty much make my own, Canadian funniest home videos just in this city alone.
Oh, more than likely, just the pure comedy gold. I mean,
absolutely.
You could have a comedy writer just sitting, around here and probably could come up with some great stuff.
It makes you think that everybody in this city has hit their head far too many times. It never ceases to amaze me, the stupidity.
You know what, honestly, I mean, we're a couple guys. We love Winnipeg, but I mean, there's something not right about this town.
No, it's definitely not right. But it provides us material for the show,
Absolutely.
and thank you, Winnipeg. Once
Thank
again,
so
you
much.
delivered.
So you know what? Let's get into the main topic. For those people who are fans of the show, you're more than aware that the captain and I are both huge fans of the series Gotham, which had its season 3 premiere last night on Fox. And so I guess we're just gonna jump right in and talk about it.
I'm gonna before anything, what I'm gonna turn around and say is, leading up to season 3, we were all concerned on whether or not they can continue moving forward with the show in not just storyline, but keeping people entertained. And last night, I think they proved that they're actually struggling with that.
I do. Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping they were going to come out of the gate, and they were going to just kind of blow me away, and they didn't.
No, after a wonderful season 2 of Gotham that really moved the storyline along so far, and kept you captivated from pretty much day one, it fell flat.
And I mean, it's too bad because I was really hoping that they would find a way to go off and to take it up a level. And I'm not losing my optimism about this. I just feel like it's starting off weak. For those people who aren't aware, the way the season starts, Jim Gordon returns to Gotham after failing to get back together with Leslie, and has become a bounty hunter instead of rejoining the Gotham Police Department.
Did you not notice though that the person who's with his former love interest almost resembles Gordon in a weird, twisted kind of way?
You know what? I didn't actually take a close look at the guy's face, but it was definitely. I mean, who knows? I mean, what exactly is going on here with this? But
we've already seen doppelgangers, for Gordon. We've already seen
we've seen doppelganger on this episode. Never mind, but
yeah, it's a very twisted doppelganger.
We're not quite sure how to take this, but as we go throughout the first half of the show, we will go into a little bit of detail on some stuff. So if you guys haven't watched the show, you know what? Too bad. I would suggest you go on, stop now, go watch the show, and then come back and listen.
No. Don't stop our show.
Don't you dare stop the show.
Don't touch that radio dial.
Or whatever you're listening, your cell phone, computer,
just don't touch that dial.
Just stay here, listen to us, because our opinion is the only one that matters.
Yeah. No, it was a decent show. It definitely had some character, some balls, kind of sort of. But at the same point, like the storyline was really, really slow and really, it just didn't make a full sense.
There's a lot of things that are definitely going on here. We're seeing, of course, Fish Mooney, really coming out now as the leader of this group.
Surprise!
As a group of, for lack of a better word, freaks.
Mutants.
Oh, no, wait, but this is, DC.
I don't care. Okay. They're mutants. Because they're genetically modified...
Experiments. They're Doctor Strange's experiments. We'll put it that way. His children. There we go. They're the children of Strange.
Strange children.
Yes, indeed.
Wow. But, you heard it here.
And Jim Gordon has taken up the position as a bounty hunter to try to track down and bring in as many of them as possible. We also see...
not all in one piece.
Not all in one piece, as we saw at the very beginning of an episode where he took down a character who could very well have been Killer Croc, for all we can tell.
Killer Croc wannabe.
Maybe a Killer Croc wannabe. There's definitely some interesting characters in here. At the same time, we also see that Bruce Wayne and Alfred have returned from, I think it was Italy or France, pardon me.
I believe it was Switzerland.
Okay.
You are wrong.
I'm wrong again. Probably for the 10th time just since we, went on the air.
And that's being generous.
That is probably being very generous. But he is, returned, and the main goal is to to confront the Owl Society, I think it's called.
I'm sorry. Every time I see the Owl Society, I think of a bunch of old people stuck in an old folks' home with nothing better to do than put on these fancy masks and go to some sort of masquerade ball.
A bunch of other things definitely go on. We also see a Bruce Wayne's doppelganger, who's simply referred to as being the Stranger, going off and kind of stalking Selina for being nice to him.
And for Selina, who is very what do you call it? Very open of what's around her. Very she sees everything. I don't understand how she didn't see this Bruce Wayne lookalike.
Well, to be in her defense, I mean, it had hair covering up his face. So when she only really got to see him once, and when she did, his face, his back was turned, his hair was covering his face, so she couldn't tell who it was.
Yeah, and I kind of want to see where they go with it, but at the same point, I don't, because I feel that it could go in either way, either a very good way or a very bad way. What I really want to see is I want to see, first of all, if that thing at the beginning was Killer Croc, because if they killed it off, God help them all. Because that's just pretty much blasphemy.
Well, Captain Barnes went off and pretty much said that they were still cleaning up the pieces of him, so we can kind of assume that he died.
Yes, so there's no way that could have been Killer Croc, but it did definitely look like one.
My first thoughts when I saw it was that it was Killer Croc. Considering...
Maybe it was Godzilla's child?
I don't know. I mean, let's face it, one of Doctor Strange's experiments for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere along the line we go off and then we see the Mad Hatter this season as well.
They've already hinted at it. If we don't see the Mad Hatter, I'll be very upset. It was actually casted to be played by someone from The Walking Dead who has recently passed on from The Walking Dead. So I'm excited for that just because, of course, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, which starts in 6 weeks, by the way.
Yes. Okay.
Not to count.
Okay, so let's kind of go off and let's talk about the storyline here involving Fish Mooney and her people. Where it's clear that the more they use their powers, the weaker that they're getting.
See, I'm not sure if, in general, if it's just, all of them who get weaker the more they use the powers or just her. Because keep in mind, the only one you're seeing that's getting sick or needing the medicine is her. So maybe she has this certain immunity to what they did to her that's fighting back.
This could be, true here. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of looking through, trying to come up with names for the characters. Incidentally, the character at the beginning of the episode, they simply refer to him as being Ridgeback Monster, so it's quite possible it's not Killer Croc.
Which is good, because it'd be very dumb on them to do as Killer Croc, but maybe it is kind of one of those teasers leading to the fact of going up to Killer Croc.
Yeah, so there's just a bunch of stuff here, like Jim Gordon trying to track down Fish Mooney, and then trying to use Ethel Peabody as bait, and that, completely turning, around on her.
I think that was very classic Gordon move, though. To do the whole, I'm going to do all this and, sit in this room with you, and you're my bait.
Yeah.
And the fact that it backfired is definitely classic Gordon, because none of his plans have ever gone as planned.
Quite a few of his just completely went bust, and this one was no big surprise. Let's talk about some of the more interesting characters that we've went off and we've seen. Like we said, we had the Ridgeback Monster that we assumed might have been Killer Croc. There is another character who could very well possibly be Man-Bat, just because he did have bat wings.
Yes.
And then there's Marv, who's got a very interesting ability where if he touches you, he literally ages you. So it's the kind of the opposite of the Fountain of Youth. And we won't give away too much.
The Fountain of Age.
The Fountain of Age, if you will, then, yes. And won't give away too much if you haven't seen the episode. But needless to say, we've seen at least 3 situations where his power comes into play. And one of them might explain the recasting for Ivy, who we'll certainly see later on in the series.
Which is a very controversial recasting, even if the story